Hi everyone! Welcome to episode 7 of Signs of Spring. I'm Nicole, the Director of Education at Project Grows. Have you ever wondered why gardeners refer to their plants either as annuals or perennials? Well, today we'll be joined by our friend Emily, who's going to give us a rundown of what we mean by these two plant categories. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Emily Rao, and I'm the Crops Program Instructor at the Virginia School for the Deaf and the Blind. At VSDB, we have a couple outdoor educational spaces. We have our sensory garden, our raised bed garden, we have our farm, and our greenhouse, which I'm sitting in right now, nice and cozy. Together, we're going to try to help you understand two main categories which plants fall into. If you have a backyard garden you're starting, this is going to be helpful information to keep your plants growing healthy and strong. So the first thing to know is that just like every other living thing, plants have a life cycle. Now that life cycle looks different for each plant. Most plants are either considered an annual or a perennial. Annual plants are plants that complete their whole life cycle in 1 year or one growing season. So that means I'm going to plant a little seed, it's going to grow, it'll flower, fruit, produce seed, and die, all in one season. So for example, if I'm planting a tomato plant in the spring, it's going to grow, produce beautiful tomatoes, I'm going to have delicious salads, I'm just going to pluck those off and eat them. But once it starts to get cold outside, that's going to die back and eventually die all the way. I'm going to have to rip it out and next year plant a new tomato plant.
So many of the annuals we have are still in the greenhouse because it's been so cold outside, but they are ready to go out. These are all different kinds of flowers. Here we have a beautiful red lettuce. It actually came up as a volunteer this year, so I didn't plant it, but it is an annual. So that means a seed was in the soil and it came up. Look at this. Gorgeous.
Perennials, however, are something that I can plant 1 year. It's going to grow just like an annual. It's going to die back once it gets colder outside, but not die all the way. So different than an annual. So what's going to happen is the root system is going to stay very much alive, and it's going to be storing energy for that next spring when it's going to push up through the soil again and do the same thing year after year. So I'm not going to have to plant that same plant. And some of these you might actually be able to see even if you don't have a garden. You might just on a walk or on a drive or maybe in your own backyard.
Over here we have two plants that have returned. We have lavender and rosemary. These are two herbs that in the winter, they really just looked like stems. So they're kind of magical because you don't expect these beautiful green leaves to come back, but they always do. So this is a perennial as well. This is a grass, an ornamental grass. I was able to cut it back all the way to the ground earlier this spring, really early in the spring. And as you can see, all this new growth has come up. So it's gonna get big and beautiful. This used to be one big chunk of grass, but as you can see, I've split it up all from one system. Another beautiful perennial. This is thyme. I also love this perennial. This is oregano. It's such a nice smell. It's great for pastas and Italian cooking. Oh, so gorgeous. So I don't plant this every year. This comes back on its own. One of my favorite signs of spring is to see my perennials spreading their leaves once again. So here we see iris. And these are peonies. beautiful flower. I think they might be my favorite. And this isn't my ultimate favorite. This is a tree, which maybe you might not think of as a perennial, but if you think about it, it comes back year after year. So see this? It's a little plum.
Now here's one interesting thing. So we have our annual and perennial plants. We also have another category called biennial plants, and those are plants that require 2 growing seasons or 2 years to complete their life cycle. Usually in farming with plants like kale and carrots that are actually biennials, we treat them as annuals because what we want from them is usually produced in the first growing season, and whereas the second growing season they tend to flower and produce seed, which that's not what we're growing them for. But parsley, kale, carrots, those are examples of biennial plants.
Hey, thanks for joining us for Signs of Spring. Be sure to download our scavenger hunt by clicking on the link below this video. And if you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more from Project Grows. See you next time.